Shalom family, all praise to the Most High. Just wanted to let you guys know that the Smartest Beast 10 is almost done. Hopefully it should be up within 24 hours. Today is Thursday, so hopefully by Friday. If not by Friday, definitely by Saturday. So remember, all you gotta do is drop $1 in the PayPal or the Cash App, and I will send you the link. It'll probably be a Google Drive or a private link here on YouTube. For anybody who has already sent off a donation for the DVD, I'm just gonna send you the video. So everybody who's already purchased the DVD, the Lost at Home DVD, I'm just gonna go ahead and send you a video. So if you purchase a DVD, don't worry about having to donate $1 or anything like that. And that goes for the same for anybody who purchased the Field of Beast soundtrack. So if you got the soundtrack, just hit me up. I'll send it to you. If you got the DVD, just hit me up. I'll send it to you. And for anybody who doesn't know, I'm working on a new Lost at Home, okay? So right now we're in the pre-order process. If you would like the Lost at Home DVD, it's going to be $25. That is up until 11/29, okay? That's the 29th of next month. That'll end the pre-order period. And so then after that, the DVD will go up to $35. And the reason I'm doing that is basically up until the 29th, I'll have a chance to get my whole order together, which means for the people who pre-order, you're helping me out because that allows me to go ahead and purchase all my DVDs in bulk as opposed to waiting or actually purchasing and then just kind of sitting on my DVDs until you guys decide to buy one. So I really want to say thank you very much to everybody who has purchased the DVD. It helps me out a lot. And by the way, it's going to be a surprise. I've got a new Lost at Home going on the DVD. So it will be exclusive to the DVD. I haven't figured out exactly when I'll be able to drop it for anybody who doesn't purchase the DVD. But you're going to have at least a few months of exclusive material where nobody's going to be able to see the documentary that I give you for the new Lost at Home on DVD. So that's pretty exciting, and I think I had mentioned it a while back on the video I did with Day Tripper that this is gonna be the first Lost at Home that I've done on a computer. So it's just gonna be crispier, it's gonna be better. I've got new facts, and so I'm really just excited to repackage and I guess just make the documentary look the way it's supposed to. And it's not like I'm ashamed of any of the Lost at Homes before, but I also did those on my phone. So I really am looking forward to doing this completely on a computer. I want all my stuff to be crispy. I'm hoping that, you know, as far as visually, it'll be more captivating than even the stuff that I do here on the Smartest Beast in the Field. So I'm excited about that. And also then after that, I will be putting the Smartest Beast of the Field series on DVD. So everything that you see here will also be available on DVD, but it won't be available on DVD, or even the pre-order period won't even be available until probably close to the end of the year, because I'm gonna get through Lost at Home and we're gonna pick that back up. And I still got that Boulay stuff I gotta drop. I got some new map stuff. So we got it's like I have a whole slew of videos that I wanna make, and I wish I could just make them every day. I wish I could just, I wish I could put out the content every day. Obviously, it takes a long time for this stuff to come together. So I really appreciate you guys being patient with me. And that just goes across the board. I know, especially when you get excited to see something, because, you know, I'm excited to do this work. I'm excited to make the Smartest Beast in the Field 10. So it excites me that you guys get excited about this stuff because I'm excited too. But it also takes a while for me to, you know, get the stuff out. It takes a long time to write the script. And I think the script writing is the longest part. Editing is pretty cut and dry. It's like, you know, it's usually a finite amount of time that it takes to edit something. But the writing process, the creativity that comes with trying to create a message, that usually takes the longest for me. So hopefully I'm done with the writing. So now all I'm doing is the editing part. You'll see a snippet. So what I'm going to do here is if I don't put it here first, I'll put it, if I don't put it at the beginning of this video, I'll put it at the end of the video. I'm going to give you a snippet just so you can check it out to kind of see where we're going. Now, there have been a lot of things that I had kind of left hanging throughout the series and other questions. So we're really gonna be tackling a lot of the major questions that we've asked as part of the series and as the series has been going on. You know, I think one of the major questions that we're really still trying to get to the bottom to is, or trying to get to the bottom of is, you know, where do white people come from? Specifically, genetically, they're different than us, yet they're very similar to what you would call the East Asian Mongoloid. Now, I have to stress this because I still don't think a lot of people get it. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, and just because you look like someone doesn't mean that you're actually genetically related to someone. So when you take the East Asian and you take what appears to be a Mongoloid or a Mongol phenotype, that is a Paleo-Indian or what you would call an Amerindian, when you're talking about those phenotypes versus the Asian phenotypes, you're actually talking about you're talking about the same but different in a sense that they're actually more genetically related to the Aboriginal Black Americans than they are the actual Asians. Okay, they're related to the Asians by way of Siberia, so they are still related. But remember, geographic proximity plays the biggest role in determining the differences between the races. So although these people may appear like their family, just like a lot of people in Australia or the Pacific Islands or even Africa might appear as though they're your family, there's a chance that they're more genetically related to Caucasians and Mongols than they are to the American Negroes. And that goes for the African Negroes as well. When you're talking about West Africa versus South Africa versus the Congo region, then of course versus the north of the Sahara region, which is a totally different phenotype, which is more like the Middle Eastern type, which is more of a hybrided population because it's mixed between the Neanderthal and the Sub-Saharan. So they have a unique genetic makeup. And these are things that we're actually going to be talking about coming up in the Smartest Piece 10. And we're also going to really just take a look at ethnology and the history of ethnology in terms of where have people always been? Because that really determines where people are from. You know, they don't say necessarily it's not where you from, it's where you at. Well, maybe it's not where you at, it's where you're from. And we can kind of see how genetics plays a role in world history and even how we understand what we think is history, but is really not history. So we're going to be looking at a lot of the ethnological world maps, things that I find quite compelling. And we're talking about periods of time where the colonial rule had just started taking over this information in the world. And you're going to notice that these people have already started pre-writing the deception into their supposed ownership of certain lands. And you're going to see that across the board. And you're going to see that starting off from hundreds of years ago. So in many ways, they have already written your ancestors, our ancestors, out of history. And we're going to be discussing that. And of course, the hijack goes to multiple levels and layers. So this is just one part of it. But I definitely think, since we're talking about genetics, DNA, and history, I definitely think looking at the ethnology records from the past and really just creating what we know to be a true ethnological map of the world is what I'm aiming to do with this video, in addition to obviously answering other questions. But I think it's important to, just for us, and especially when we start teaching our children, you know, about us and about us being here, we really have to be quite detailed when we're trying to break down the deception and transfer it into truth. So that's kind of what I'm spending obviously I'm kind of dedicated to that part of the truth, but in terms of, I would say indigenous claim to certain lands, and in terms of what indigenous claim means for genetics and history, that's what I'm really targeting with these videos. In addition to the origins of men and the origins of certain men and the origins of certain types of men or men-like creatures. So we're going to be talking about all of this in addition to some facts from the book of Jasher. Really, I just love the book of Jasher because as I mentioned before, it gives you a lot of the detail that you're not getting at Genesis. So we're going to be looking at the book of Jasher, and there are actually a few places that we're going to detail that highlight certain things like, hybrid creatures. So, I think a lot of people are, when we're talking about evolution, so to speak, and even when we kind of dip into mythology and we're talking about Greek mythology and we mention hybrids and creatures and things of that nature, you don't really see that in scripture, but you actually do. There are a few places in scripture that will identify certain races of men in certain areas of the world, and it's up to us to be able to generate some sort of legitimate context through that. So that's going to be fun. There are going to be a couple places in Jasher, which I'm sure some of you have either read. And this is just how it is when you read scripture. Sometimes you read something and you just like skim over it and you don't totally get it when you read it, or you got it and you said, holy shit, did you just read that? So there are a couple of things in Jasher where you're like, holy shit, did I read that right? Did that say what I thought it said? And it's going to give us some insight into the development of, newly acquired world history, things we have to take into consideration. And when we're using their documentation and we're using their words and their information to try to explain what happened in the past, you still have to ingest all of it with a grain of salt. And it takes a lot of time just to develop your own mode of creating context where the context that you're receiving is ultimately deceptive. It's like you have to tear down a whole new web and then then you're trying to figure out, okay, well, I know this is bullshit, I know this is bullshit, but this could be true. But if this is true, is the other bullshit true too? And so then you're trying to analyze, this bullshit versus this bullshit. But the whole idea is to get you thinking on a level that without being presented with the bullshit information, you may not have even considered certain things. So when we read scripture in books like Jasher, we're going to get insight into things that we never had even considered before. And that's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun. And a nigga is talking too much. So today's Thursday, Friday. So tomorrow, possibly Saturday, I'm not going to try to rush the editing process. It will be done. I like to make sure it's good. I like to make sure I don't make any mistakes, things of that nature. So I'm not going to rush it out. But like I said, it should be up in the next 24 to 48, should be in that range, 24 to 48 hours. And I'm excited because this is going to be, I think, not just the culmination of everything we've learned, but it's actually going to hit you in the side of the head in some areas that we haven't really even discussed. So that's going to be fun. All you got to do is just shoot $1 minimum to my PayPal or the Cash App. If you donate through Cash App, just make sure you leave me a note with your email address so I can send you the video. Or you can just email ub.news.tv@gmail.com. Also, I forgot to mention, I do have a website up. I really, really, really want to send my gratitude and love to Miss Io Peterson, who actually helped build my site. She came through, showed love, had my site built. I'm still working on it, but you can see us in the development processes, but it's functional. I've basically used it to, develop like a resource center for books and maps and discussion topics, and of course my videos, which are not fully integrated to the platform yet. They will be. And really what I want to do is whenever I drop something new, I'm going to be dropping it on the channel, and then it'll be on YouTube a little bit later. So we're still under the construction part, but you can go check out the site if you, for any reason, you need to reach me, if you just want to kind of browse a little bit. There is some stuff up there, and it is ubnews.tv. So I really appreciate anybody who has supported me. And as far as anybody who is doing anybody who has donated for the Lost at Home DVD, I'm just going to send it to you. Just check your email whenever it's done. Whenever I finish, I upload it to YouTube. I'll just shoot you an email. And remember that if you have not sent me your address for the DVD, make sure you send me your address. I mean, you have until the 29th of next month. But, so I don't have to go back and search for it. If you go ahead and give it to me, as soon as I get the DVD, I can go ahead and shoot it to you. And once again, the DVDs are $25. I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me. I'm excited about the Smartest Beast 10. I appreciate everything that you guys have been doing for me. I appreciate all the love that you guys show. There's no way to express the gratitude that I feel, the affinity that I feel for you guys. I genuinely love you guys. You guys have allowed me to find a large part of my purpose. And for that, I'm grateful. Not just allowed me, you've motivated me, you've encouraged me. Honestly, these are the things that make one feel wealthy. And I really appreciate it. 2 pats to the chest, 2 fingers to the sky, all praise to the Most High. I'll holler at y'all. Smartest Beast 10, let's go! All of us who were created have our story written within the tablets of life. Long before we were born and long after we die, the spirit in which we have self-created through our thoughts, intents, actions, and designs becomes the path in which we have chosen. The consequences of our self-design are encoded in the aspirations of our will. Our will being the spiritual compass guiding decisions that were made long before our ability to choose. In every way, the result of who we have chosen to be is a result of our decisions. Our fate was sealed long before our birth by us. Time is just a construction intrinsically built upon the foundation of death. Without death, there is no time. Without death, what is the value of life? If understanding death is a curse, is ignorance truly bliss? If death was the rebirth of our earthly karma, would we mourn the deceased? If you were kicked out of paradise, what would you do to make it back? Every spirit in this realm has an origin of creation. Just as spirits were created above in the heavens, spirits were created within the depths of the earth. Every earthly vessel that carries the breath of life or the stench of death has an origin of creation. As above, so below.